Thanksgiving morning arrived with crisp air and the smell of possibilities. My table was set, the turkey was in the oven, and I felt like everything I had worked for was finally coming together. But little did I know, by the end of that night, all of it would come crashing down with just a few words from my mother. The turkey was organic and free-range. The wine was carefully selected, and every side dish was made from scratch using the highest quality ingredients I could afford. Thanksgiving morning arrived with crisp autumn air and the promise of what I hoped would be a new beginning for my family relationships. I woke up early to start the turkey and begin the elaborate preparation process I had planned. Jake arrived around 9 in the morning to help with the final preparations, and I could see the concern in his eyes as he watched me frantically checking and rechecking every detail. The first family members to arrive were Uncle Robert and Aunt Susan, who walked into my apartment with the kind of expression you might wear when visiting a museum exhibit you're not particularly impressed by. Uncle Robert immediately began evaluating my living space like he was conducting a property assessment, commenting on the square footage and questioning whether the neighborhood was really as safe as it looked. Aunt Susan's approach was more subtle, but equally cutting. She complimented my decorating choices with phrases like, "How brave of you to choose such bold colors," and "It's so nice that you're comfortable with minimalism." Every compliment came with an undertone that suggested I had somehow missed the mark of proper adult living. When Mom arrived with Jessica and her family, the real performance began. She walked through my apartment, pointing out things to Jessica as if she were conducting a tour. "Look at how much Mia spend on this couch," she said, running her hand over the fabric. "Must be nice to have money to throw around like that." When Jessica complimented the beautiful flower arrangements I had created, Mom quickly redirected the attention by talking about how Jessica always made her own centerpieces and how much more personal that was. Mark stumbled in about an hour later, clearly already having started his holiday drinking, and immediately made himself comfortable on my expensive couch with his dirty shoes up on the cushions. When I gently asked him to remove his shoes, Mom jumped to his defense, saying I was being too precious about my furniture and that families should feel comfortable in each other's homes. The early afternoon was filled with small moments like these. Every effort I made to create a warm, welcoming environment was somehow turned into evidence of my character flaws. I was either trying too hard, spending too much money, or being too controlling about how things should be done. Jake watched these interactions with growing amazement later, telling me he had never seen a family work so hard to diminish someone who was trying to do something nice for them. When we finally sat down for dinner, I felt like I was walking on eggshells despite being in my own home. The turkey was perfectly cooked, the sides were delicious, and the presentation was restaurant quality. But instead of acknowledging the effort and skill that had gone into the meal, the conversation quickly turned to comparisons with previous family gatherings. Mom spent 10 minutes describing in detail how wonderful Jessica's Thanksgiving had been the previous year, emphasizing how homey and comfortable it felt compared to what she called my fancy approach. Uncle Robert chimed in with stories about expensive restaurants he had been to, making it clear that, while my food was adequate, it wasn't quite up to the standards of someone who had truly made it in life. As dinner progressed, the conversation inevitably turned to careers and life choices, which I should have seen coming, but somehow still wasn't prepared for. Uncle Robert began by talking about his latest real estate developments, making sure everyone understood just how successful his business had become. He threw around numbers, casually mentioning million-dollar deals and exclusive clients as if they were everyday occurrences. From there, the spotlight moved to Jessica, with Mom leading the charge in praising her daughter's career as an elementary school teacher. "Teaching is such noble work," Mom said, her voice filled with warmth I rarely heard when she talked about my accomplishments. "Jessica is shaping young minds, making a real difference in the world. Not everyone can say their work actually matters like that." The implication hung in the air like smoke. My work in advertising apparently didn't matter in the same way. Creating visual campaigns that helped businesses succeed working with teams to solve complex communication problems, bringing creative visions to life. None of that counted as meaningful work in estimation. Uncle Robert nodded sagely and added his own commentary about the importance of stable careers with good benefits and retirement plans. That's the thing about teaching, he said. It's recession-proof. People always need teachers, unlike some industries that come and go with trends and fads. I tried to redirect the conversation by sharing news about my recent promotion and the salary increase that came with it. I explained how the advertising agency had recognized my work and given me additional responsibilities, including managing a team of junior designers. I thought surely this concrete evidence of professional success would shift the tone of the discussion. Instead, Mom's response was to minimize my achievement completely. Well, it's easy to get promoted when you're young and don't have real responsibilities, she said dismissively. Wait until you have a mortgage and children and see how far that career gets you then. Aunt Susan jumped in with her own perspective, suggesting that my generation had unrealistic expectations about work and money. In my day, we understood that work was about service, not personal fulfillment or big paychecks, she said with that sweet smile that made her words even more cutting. The conversation then shifted to family financial responsibilities and what each of us contributed to taking care of aging parents and extended family needs. This was dangerous territory, and I could feel the trap being set, but I walked right into it anyway. Uncle Robert began talking about how important it was for successful family members to help those who were struggling. He mentioned several ways he had helped his parents over the years, making sure everyone understood his generosity. Jessica added stories about helping her in-laws and contributing to various family emergencies over the years. Then, Mom delivered the setup that would lead to the devastating blow that was coming. It's funny how family responsibility works, she said, looking directly at me. Some people understand that success means helping others, and some people think success means buying expensive furniture and showing off. I felt the blood rising to my cheeks, but I tried to stay calm and respond rationally. I explained that I had actually been helping family members financially for years, just more quietly than others. I had been sending Mom money regularly since I got my first decent-paying job. I had covered Mark's car payments twice when he was out of work. I had contributed to Uncle Robert's business when he needed a short-term loan, though he had never publicly acknowledged that help.